Hi there. Thank you so much for joining the Doncaster Community Engagement Meeting. I'm William Borten and I'm the Community Representative of the suburb of Doncaster. Alongside me is the Property Developer Mark Foster, the Planner Matthew McKenna, and finally the local economist James Somerton. Today we'll be discussing the major issues when it comes to the livability of Doncaster, being transport and accessibility of the suburb, where we'll discuss the benefits of introducing adequate transportation for the suburb of Doncaster. Firstly, there's an underlying problem with the suburb, and that's the access to public transportation for residents and all. As a result, 74% of all Doncaster residents travel to work by car. In addition, 0.1% of residents travel by tram, 0.4% cycle, 1.3% travel by train, 3.1% walk, and finally 12.7% travel by bus. As a representative of this community, the amount of public transportation for residents in Doncaster is disgusting. Not only for the neglect by the government for not building adequate public transportation services, but the increased amount of CO2 and the effect that 74% of all Doncaster residents driving to work has every day on the environment. Further, poor public transportation within the suburb is halting the overall growth of the area, as it attracts less and less people to reside in the suburb as there is inadequate ways to commute into the city. Melbourne is one of the fastest growing cities in Australia as well as the world, and it's also one of the world's most livable cities. One of the key elements for the city's livability is the efficient public transportation system. As Melbourne itself has very good public transport, Doncaster is lacking heavily in this department. With the lack of public transportation means less desire for working people to reside in Doncaster due to the difficult commute into the city. This means that the growth rate in Doncaster is less substantial compared to the surrounding suburbs. What this suburb needs, however, is a rail line. This would boost the suburb dramatically through less CO2 and carbon emissions released by less people driving into work. In addition, it would help boost growth rates in the suburb and connect more people to the rest of Melbourne. To go into more detail of this topic, we have the planner, Matthew McKenna.
Thanks, William. I'm Matt. I'm a planner with the Department of Transport. The proposal of a Doncaster train line has significant benefits from a planning perspective. In accordance with Plan Melbourne, by 2050, there will be an estimated additional 10.4 million trips a day on public transport, with the direction focusing on a metro-style system for trains. Policy 3.2.2 of Plan Melbourne highlights the requirement to improve outer suburban public transport, as more needs to be done to better serve current suburbs that lack significant infrastructure. In order to achieve this for Doncaster, the principal public transport network will have to be updated to apply focus on Melbourne's outer suburban growth areas, so that land and development integrates with high quality public transport. Policy 3.1.2 of Plan Melbourne emphasises the necessity to provide high quality public transport access to job-rich areas. In relation to the Doncaster train line, this is crucial in allowing for efficient and simple network connections between people's employment, homes and major activity centres, as both Westfield Shopping Centre and The Pines both reside within Doncaster Hill and East Doncaster respectively. Understandably, there is concern for how this train line will affect the suburbs in which it runs through. The Public Transport Users Association already has a network draft, which is feasible and upon construction limits any congestive level crossings or other disturbances. The proposed line would break off between Victoria Park Station and Clifton Hill Station. The original 1969 Melbourne Transportation Plan had accounted for a train line running through the median of the Eastern Freeway up until Borten, which allows the proposed line to run the same way. After Borten, the line would have to run through a bored tunnel through Lower Templestowe, Doncaster Hill and East Doncaster, ensuring service to those two major activity centres. So all in all, the proposal is feasible from a planning perspective and is unlikely to provide major disruptions to the suburban landscape and follows the guidance of Plan Melbourne in increasing outer suburban public transport infrastructure to allow for easier access to job-rich areas. I hope that clears some planning concerns that you had, William.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Matthew. Next to speak on the issue is the economist James.
Thank you, William. My name is James and I'm an economist from MYOB. From an economic perspective, Doncaster is a suburb expecting to undergo major growth in the number of residents, jobs, retail and social services available within the area. Doncaster has been marked as a future activity centre in Plan Melbourne's metropolitan planning strategy. Therefore, in order to attract more investment and create more jobs and homes for the growing population, the suburb must have an efficient train transport route nearby. According to the ABS, the suburb has a current population of approximately 25,500 people and 17,421 jobs as of 2020. 55% of the adult residents work full-time jobs and 32.7% work part-time. Building upon what William previously mentioned about the number of residents using cars to travel to work, the utter dependence on cars as the main transport vehicle is exactly why Doncaster needs a local train route if it wants to align with the outcomes and directions set out by Plan Melbourne to have an integrated transport system that connects people to jobs and services in Melbourne. Currently, transport options available in Doncaster are either bus routes leading to and from Westfield Doncaster or road access via the Eastern Freeway towards the city. Box Hill Station is located 3.5 kilometres from Westfield Doncaster, discouraging public transport use due to its distance from Doncaster and further encouraging car usage. The creation of a train system would ensure that the suburb is able to manage its share of the 1.6 million new homes expected to be built in Melbourne by 2050, as well as supporting upcoming business growth and facilitating Doncaster in becoming a 20-minute city. The construction of a train line, although being high in cost and time, would also see additional job growth in the construction industry as a consequence of development, further boosting Melbourne's economy. Thank you.
Very well stated, James. Next to speak is the property developer, Mark.
Thanks, William. Hi, my name's Mark Foster, and I'm from Develop Now, and I'm going to give you a bit of insight into the future development for the rail line that will go through Doncaster and the effects it may have. As mentioned by William and James, there is roughly over 70% of people who use cars to get to work, and only 1% that use trains within the Doncaster area. One of our main goals when bringing in the new train station and line is to increase this number to 30% and help take some of the stress out of getting to work and ease the congestion around the roads in Doncaster. The Council and Victorian Government have been working to procure the land needed for the future development. We are mostly looking into the Doncaster Hill area for the station location, as it is an area where land is available currently. We are working alongside the Manningham Council and Victorian Government to secure the land before the availability of the land becomes unachievable. This would put the station within the activity centre zoning, close to both Westfield Doncaster and Doncaster Secondary College, making it accessible and well placed to benefit the community. This would also help encourage future developments within the area, such as high-density residential living developments and future jobs and services that could be added with the introduction of the train station and line, while also keeping in line with Plan Melbourne 2050 strategy for providing different housing choices within the chosen neighbourhood. We are already consulting with the Manningham Council and other developers around the Doncaster Hill area for current and future developments along Doncaster Road to gain the best possible outcome for the new rail line based on the community's needs. We are also working towards a more sustainable build for the train station to fit the Manningham Council's goals for the next 4 years by protecting and enhancing the environment and biodiversity of the area and reducing the environmental impact. Thank you for your time, William.
As stated brilliantly by our representatives before us, there is clearly a need for the rail line in Doncaster for overall growth for the suburbs environmentally, socially and for the economy. This will further increase the livability of the suburb and increase population growth and help the environment through less greenhouse gas emissions. I hope you accept our pitch for the much needed rail line in our great suburb. Thank you.